Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Talk About Sex with Sandy. So for those who don't know me, just a quick intro. I am a sex and hormone specialist, and I help people who are struggling with their hormones, with their libido or sex drive, or with just kind of a boring, safe sex life or unsatisfying sex life. So tonight we are talking about courageous conversations, especially with strangers or basic strangers. So I was out watering my front gardens this afternoon, and one of my neighbors who just moved in not too long ago, sorry, I'll stop moving. I've talked to her, I've chatted with her briefly a couple of times, and long story short, we ended up on the topic of sex and sex toys. So I'm having a party at my place this next Tuesday, so the 25th, and I happened to mention first that, I'm a sex and hormone specialist, and then we got on the topic of toys, and I said, well, I'm happy to be having a party, so she's like, oh, right on. And like, she's just this, I think she said she's 31 or 32, and super exuberant, really, really friendly. It's just a sweet girl. Well, lo and behold, the things that she was telling me that she's into. And it's like, she's unapologetic of what she's into. And yeah, it's BDSM. And she'll do it, she's into all aspects of sex. She just really enjoys it. And I thought, you know what? That is so incredibly refreshing. Now, she's 32, so she's a little younger than I am. But it's like, it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 20 or 80. It's like, it's so important to have an adventurous, exciting, fulfilling sex life, because it spills into other areas of your life. If you're adventurous in bed, then chances are pretty good that you're going to be adventurous in life as well. Now, whether that means skydiving, or which I know some of you are into, or if it just means taking a chance on a business, or taking a chance and, telling someone that you find attractive, that you find them attractive, and that you'd like to get to know them. So there's all kinds of things that you can learn about people. And excuse this one little piece of hair, it's driving me crazy as I see myself. There are all kinds of things that you can learn about people when you just stop and talk to them. And I'm getting better. I have a bad habit of kind of holding the floor, as my mother would say. And I'm getting much better at just keeping my mouth shut or asking questions and then listening. And that's so important. And I mean, it's important to have a two-way conversation. But for those of us who are maybe a little challenged when it comes to shutting up and listening and using the two ears and the one mouth, so it's a lot of fun. And, the last little while I've been meeting people and having these great conversations, and whether it's about spirituality or what they're doing in their life, or kids, like family. I've got a very good friend who's going through some really interesting times. And it's like, and I just basically shut up this morning and let her talk. I love her to pieces. I've known her for, a decade or so. And I think she's amazing, and she's super strong, and she's been through so much. And, it was nice to be able to just shut up and listen. And I would imagine that she probably appreciated that too. And then, there's a man that I met at my last eye surgeon appointment. And we got talking about Dyer and about how important it is just to kind of surrender. Wayne Dyer used to live by the motto of let go and let God. And whatever you consider God to be, like, it doesn't have to be, it's like whatever your interpretation is, that's what's important. Whether it's spirit or universe or God or the Tao or whatever. And then this conversation today, and it just inspired me for tonight's post, or tonight's episode. And it was just so much fun to be able to talk about, the kind of restraints that she's got. And it's like, yeah, we actually carry that one. So she's like, oh, I should come stop by and bring lots of cash. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, sure, come on in. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. So she took down all the info, and she should be here next Tuesday. So I'm just so excited about, listening to people and hearing their stories and getting into these really crazy conversations with people. I've got a new client coming in tomorrow afternoon, and he had said that he was feeling a little nervous today. And I'm like, is it me? And he's like, no. But he's not used to talking about the fact that, he might need a little bit of help. And that's okay. It's like, the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of the things that they're going through when it comes to sex and sexual dysfunction, if you will, is that it's so common that it's nothing to be ashamed about. It's like, it's not necessary, but it is very common. So, and there's ways of working around it. So whether you are a woman who just isn't in the mood anymore because, she's just got too many things on her plate, whether you're an older woman who is, and by older, it could be 50, if you've got low estrogen, chances are your vagina's going to be a little on the dry side. So there are some really good, safe lubes, because let's face it, that's a pretty intense place to be putting things. So I never put oil in there, in the vagina. It's bad idea. There's two schools of thoughts about it. I happen to adhere to the one that says, are you crazy? So, and I do happen to carry a very clean Canadian-made lube from the company the wholesaler that I rep. And, or if you're a guy and, either your libido is just kind of, or if, you're struggling to maybe keep an erection or get an erection, don't sweat it. Please, there is nothing to be embarrassed about, male or female. It's like, look, this is, especially as we age, it's all natural. And let me tell you, if you're on an antidepressant, that will kill your libido faster than anything. It's probably the worst offender for it. So please, guys especially, I know it's a guy thing, please do not be embarrassed. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask for help, whether it's me or your doctor or, a sex therapist or whatever. It doesn't matter who you reach out to. Just please don't be afraid to reach out. So this new client that's coming over tomorrow, he said he's never talked to anybody, including his doctor, about this. He's embarrassed about it because, it's a guy thing, right? And I'm like, don't worry about it. I said, I have the ability to put people very much at ease. It's like people tell me things that they've never told anybody else. And that's just, I think a lot of it is just because I try to always be very accepting and very, it's like, okay. Like, I don't make a big deal of these things. So, but I will tell you, I'm going to wrap this up. I will tell you, male or female, if you're in a partnership with someone, please let them know what's going on. Don't let them think that it's just them. Now, sometimes, yes, it's going to be your partner. Sometimes you're not in the best relationship that you could be in. So, you've got to look at that as well, right? But first, we got to rule out the physical reasons. And one thing that I will tell the same thing I told a friend of mine earlier today, is that all the supplements, all the aids not aids, like supplemental stuff that you can use isn't going to do shit if you're not right in the head. And I just mean by your attitude. There's a lot of people who are on a lot of meds for a lot of different mental health issues. And let me tell you, they are some of the worst offenders for libido busting. There's a lot of side effects to this stuff. And sometimes it is necessary. But the cool thing is that a lot of times it's not. However, having said that, do not, if you are taking antidepressants, do not take yourself off them. Please. They are powerful, powerful meds, so you need to do it right. I am by no means an expert when it comes to mental health issues, so you either want to, and I'm going to, and it reminds me that I'm actually going to look up try and get some contacts with some naturopaths who actually do work in the mental health field. So if you happen to know anybody, please drop a line, let me know. I'm looking mostly for naturopaths who they don't have to specialize, but are quite knowledgeable when it comes to mental health. Because those are the people that I really want to connect with, because the last thing that I'm going to do is to tell somebody there's certain meds that, you know, you can kind of lower or miss or, you know, but you always want to talk to your doctor. And if you're taking a prescription med, always check with your pharmacist about herbal medications. Vitamins are pretty safe, but when it comes to some minerals and a lot of herbs, they can cause problems, and mostly because it's either making the prescription med too effective or not effective enough. So always double check. And if you're not sure, drop me a line and ask, and I'm happy to respond. So I'm going to cut this off, and love chatting with you. Have a great night. Enjoy this absolutely stunning day, what's left of it, and tomorrow's supposed to be pretty nice too. So I'll be out in the garden. I'm not busy until 1 o'clock. So I will be out in the gardens digging up and working on getting the rest of my mulch down. And in the background, you can see this crazy lilac shrub. And behind the shrub, oh Lord, I can never do this right. Behind the thing that's sticking up directly behind the lilac, that's a weed. I'm like, it's been growing there for several years. I've been ignoring it. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, whether I thought it was just going to go away on its own or something, but this is the year that I'm going to tackle it. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are just awesome, and I just absolutely adore you. So, mwah, take care. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.